The Hare and the Tortoise by Eric Villarreal. Read to you by Bob Doughty. The Hare and the Tortoise, adapted from the short story The Tortoise and the Hare from Aesop's Fables. But first a message from Mr. Villarreal. I dedicate this book to you, the reader, and all who have or will overcome the odds stacked against them. My one wish, if I may have just one, is that you reach the finish line of this tale smiling. You have all heard of the tortoise and the hare, but not all hares are like the one in that story, and not all tortoises are the same either. In fact, hares across the globe felt judged after that story was released, while many tortoises were given praise and admiration for doing nothing. I am here to tell you a story about a different hare and a different tortoise that might change your mind about each creature. There once was a hare who loved delicious carrot cake. He could and did eat carrot cake all day, every day. Because of this love, he grew very wide. In this same town there lived a very fit tortoise. He boasted about how he could run faster than anyone else. He always teased the hare. "Look at how lazy and large the hare is. He is slower than pond water." One day the upset hare answered back, "Who do you think you are? Even you can be beaten." The tortoise snickered. Beaten in a race? There's no creature in the world that can beat me. I'm so speedy. Why don't you try, Hairball? Annoyed by such bragging, the hare accepted the challenge. A course was planned, and the next day at dawn they stood at the starting line. The tortoise took off in a hurry, while the hare trudged slowly down the path, with carrot cake in hand. When the tortoise saw how painfully slow the hare was, he decided, half asleep on his feet, to have a quick nap by a tree. "Take your time, Hairball," he said to himself. "I'll get some rest and catch up with you in a minute." Much later, the tortoise woke with a start and gazed around, looking for his furry rival. The hare was only a short distance away, having barely covered a third of the course. Breathing a sigh of relief, the tortoise decided he might as well have breakfast too, and off he went to munch on some corn in a nearby field. The heavy meal and hot sun made his eyelids droop. With a careless glance at the hare, now halfway along the course, he decided to have another snooze. Daydreaming of the look on the hare's face when he, the speedy tortoise, would take first place, the tortoise fell fast asleep and was soon snoring happily. Eventually, the sun started to sink below the horizon. The hare, who had been plodding along since morning, was not far from the finish. At that moment, the tortoise woke with a jolt. With the hare just a speck in the distance, away he dashed. He leapt and bounded at a great rate, gasping for breath with his tongue lolling. Just a little more, and he'd be first at the finish. Suddenly, the hare crouched down to the ground. He began to roll. The tortoise took a last leap. But the tortoise's leap was just too late. The hare had beaten him to the finish line by an ear. Poor tortoise! Tired and in disgrace, he slumped down away from the hare, who smiled silently at him. "You never know when a weakness in some eyes is a blessing in disguise," said the hare to the tortoise proudly. And that's how, together, we taught the world not to judge a tortoise by its shell or a hare by its tummy. The end.